How the Tea Party can save America and the world, a plea from New Zealand. Hi, my name's Trevor Loudon. I'm a New Zealand blogger and researcher, and I've got a message that I would like the Tea Party to hear. Many Tea Partiers and American patriots understand that the fate of the United States hangs in the balance. No melodrama here. If the US loses its position as the world's #1 military superpower, another country or alliance of countries will take its place. Realistically, that can only be Russia or China, or more likely an alliance of Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Vietnam, and whoever else climbs aboard. As the US dollar slowly sinks and American prestige and power goes with it, the evil axis grows bolder. But why should I care? I live way down in the South Pacific. I'm safe. Well, maybe not so safe. China is steadily advancing in our region through the Pacific. It now has a foothold in Fiji, only a few hundred miles to the north of my country. As recently as June 2012, a top retired Chinese general, Song Xing-jun, told Australia's Sydney Morning Herald that Australia has to find a godfather sooner or later. Australia always has to depend on someone else, whether it be the son of the US or the son of China, Song said, adding that Australia had best choose China because it all depends on who is more powerful and is based on the strategic environment. He was basically telling Australia they had to choose China rather than American protection. If America goes under, folks, the West goes under. No ifs, no buts. Only a strong America can keep the bad guys in check. Just as soldiers from all over the world fought in Europe and the Pacific to save liberty in World War II, today's freedom lovers need to join in the fight to save the United States. Once liberty was fought for in the Coral Sea, Guadalcanal, Normandy and Sicily. Now if liberty is to be saved, we must win the electoral battles of Florida, Ohio, Virginia and Colorado. From my home in Christchurch, I recently spent an hour on the phone with a savvy Florida activist. She outlined for me the crushing problems being faced by American patriots in the face of a relentless leftist onslaught from the Obama administration. According to my usually optimistic friend, much of the Tea Party is in disarray. The GOP leadership is even more arrogant and out of touch than usual. And if the Dems pass immigration reform, the Republic will be swamped with millions of new loyal Democrats, effectively turning the US government into a one-party state. And to cap that, now I'm hearing whispers of a third party. Let's get real. There is only one vehicle that can take back America from the Democrats and their union and far-left allies. And in the very limited time left, that is the Republican Party. If the Democrats hold the Senate and take back the House in 2014 or even 2016, which they could very well do, America is done for. Illegal immigrants will be granted voting rights, and the intimidation tactics now being employed will seem like kindergarten bullying as the Democrats and unions unleash full force on the remaining opposition. There is a climate of fear now in the United States. Democrats get back in full control, they will never relinquish it. It is no longer the old GOP Dem turnabout game. This is the far left playing for keeps and the GOP playing constant catch-up. While I'm no particular fan of the Republican Party, it's hard to see how starting a third party right now could possibly do anything but hand both the House and the Senate to the Democrats in 2014 and the presidency to the left in 2016. If that happens, the left will never give up power without bloodshed. If it ever comes to serious civil unrest and the socialist power base is actually threatened, foreign troops will be called into American soil to restore order. That will be the end of America. A peaceful resolution is the only realistic hope. So what to do? A third party will almost certainly hand America to the tyrants. The GOP leadership is ineffectual at best, often cowardly and unprincipled, occasionally even treacherous. But the GOP does have a structure, a brand, some money, hundreds of thousands of dedicated activists and tens of millions of voters. That is not something to throw away. The Tea Party faces a choice. They can throw their toys out of the cot, as we say in New Zealand, and walk away from the GOP. They can work on local issues alone or dissolve or form a third party. Satisfying as those options may be, they are almost certainly guaranteed to consign your children and grandchildren to a life of slavery. So what is the alternative? I have addressed more than 150 Tea Party groups. I have met thousands of activists. Your people are the best of America. I write this on the verge of tears as I remember the amazing patriots, thinkers and activists I have met in my 4 speaking tours of your amazing country. If America is to be saved, you will do it. No other movement has the energy, drive, commitment, fortitude, foresight or integrity of the Tea Party patriots. You, however, have one major weakness. You lack self-confidence and self-belief. The vast majority of you are political novices. You take too much advice from your self-appointed betters in the GOP and the mainstream conservative movement. This was illustrated in places like Florida last year, where the Tea Party activists were actually forbidden from pushing the illegal immigration issue by various consultants and GOP officials. The Tea Party needs to realise that you have the truth on your side. You are real people with roots in your communities. Many of you are veterans. You are far more in touch with your communities than any GOP blue blood or K Street consultant ever will be. So what should your wonderful movement do? Here is my advice. It is far from perfect, but I hope it will be at least add to the debate. It's all about concentration of forces. I've met a lot of Tea Partiers working inside the GOP, some of them very successfully. However, what tends to happen is that many of them become marginalised by GOP moderates and their good work comes to little. In Australia, the Labor Party, the counterpart of your Democrats, operates in 2 main formalised factions, the conservative-moderate Labor Unity faction and the hardcore socialist left faction. 1 party, 2 power blocks, effectively 2 separate organisations within a one-party structure. The 2 factions horse trade, do deals, fight like cats and dogs, compete viciously with each other, yet at election time stand as a united front against their conservative opponents. I'm suggesting that the Tea Party should adopt a variant of this approach. Join the GOP en masse, but don't dilute your efforts by operating as scattered individuals inside the GOP structure. If the Tea Parties collectively became, say, constitutional caucuses or liberty caucuses within the GOP, you could maintain your agenda and your integrity and could have the advantage of a GOP structure, branding and the ability to actually get your candidates elected. Don't join GOP branches, become GOP branches. There needs to be nothing covert about this. Tea Party groups should identify themselves openly as constitutional Republicans and refuse in any way to be subservient to head office dictates. Put the GOP old guard on notice that you are here to retake your party and restore it to its constitutional foundations. Openly state that you are the guardians of the GOP heritage. Boldly proclaim that you fully intend to block vote your way into positions of influence and that you will work with other constitutionalists in your state and nationally to primary GOP candidates, no matter how long serving, who do not actively support in word and deed the US Constitution. Take no prisoners. Concentrate your resources. Pick winnable fights only. Do not primary candidates you cannot defeat in this election cycle. I've seen that happen too often. Tea Party groups targeting scattered rhinos all over the state and not quite beating any of them. Pick a handful of winnable races each election cycle and call in fellow constitutionalists from all over the state to help. If the GOP does not respect you, make them fear you. The respect will follow later, trust me. Now is not the time for peripheral issues either. The survival of the United States of America is at stake. The future of Western civilization hangs in the balance. Core issues only. the Constitution, national security, including border control and gun rights, education and the economy. I don't want to minimise other issues, but this is a last-ditch effort to save your country and mine. If we blow it, there may not be another in our great-great-great-grandchildren's lifetimes. This is cultural warfare, folks, and we must concentrate resources on core issues that may actually help us to defeat our opponents in both parties in the fast-approaching battles ahead. Logically, the United States of America should never have been born. In the 1770s, most Americans were either pro-British or apathetic. Fewer than 10% of the population actually supported the revolution, and way fewer actually fought it. How in God's name did a bunch of poorly armed farmers and lawyers, labourers, shopkeepers and tradesmen seriously hope to defeat the mightiest army the world had seen to that time? Yet they did. I left out one important group for a reason. The first American Revolution was preached from the pulpit. Hundreds of pastors, a Bible in one hand, a long rifle in the other, boldly supported George Washington's ragtag army. They understood better than anyone that America was founded on religious freedom. They understood exactly what was at stake. The first American revolutionaries were inspired by something much greater than themselves. You Tea Party revolutionaries must always keep the big picture in mind. If you don't think the war is worth winning, you tell me one that is. If you don't think your grandchildren's liberty is worth fighting for, please tell me what you do care about. We all admire the first American revolutionaries for their incredible bravery and fortitude and sacrifice. They risked everything to give you the exceptional country you enjoy today. In 200 years' time, young teenagers will be standing in front of civics and history classes in schools across America. These young people will talk about their free and prosperous country with great pride. But some of the proudest will be able to say something like this. You know, guys, back in the early 2000s, when the country was in crisis, when a lot of people thought America was done for, when patriots stood up and saved the Republic, restored the Constitution, gave us the incredible freedom and prosperity we enjoy today. Well, I've done some family research, and you know what? My great-great-grandma and grandpa, they were in the Tea Party. Folks, your Creator gave you both a heart and a brain. Now is the time to use both for your country. Thank you.